Friends, let us continue with part 2 of lesson 3. So last time we had seen the different connective tissues, their work, function, and where they are present. Now let us go ahead. Can we control movements in our body? So we have two types of movements. One which we can control, they are voluntary, they are under our will. For example, I am talking, I can move my hand, that is under my control, that is called as voluntary. The heartbeat on the other hand is automatic, it is involuntary. Okay, digestion, it is happening on its own, that is involuntary. So two types of movements are there, voluntary and involuntary. Some movements are under conscious control, such as running, writing, lifting objects. These are called as voluntary movements, and they are carried out by skeletal muscles which are attached to the skeleton. So if I want to get up, skeletal muscles which are connected to the bones, to the skeleton, will help me to get up. That is the example. Now they are made up of bundles of long cylindrical cells. You know what they are called? They are called as muscles. So muscle fibers are there, they are unbranched, multinucleated and striated. Striated means there are some lines which you see under microscopes. So are there involuntary muscles or involuntary movements in the body? Yes, you know, they happen automatically without our thinking. For example, heartbeat. Now, this is because of smooth muscles. Here they have shown us skeletal muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. Say after me, skeletal muscle, smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. Now the name tells you, skeletal muscles. They are present in the skeletal. Okay, skeletal system, skeleton. So which are found in the organs of the stomach and intestine. So smooth muscles are found in the stomach and intestine. Their cells are spindle shaped. So see the shape, that is called spindle. Okay, the shape that is tapering, that is called spindle shape. So these are spindle shaped, have single nuclei and lack striations. So they don't have lines in between them. Striations are small lines which you see under microscope. Cardiac muscles are only found in heart. They are cylindrical, branched with single nuclei and have faint striations. Cardiac muscles work tirelessly and rhythmically, enabling the heart to beat throughout life without fatigue. So heart doesn't stop. If the heart stops, we'll die. That's why they are special type of muscles called as cardiac muscles which are continuously working till we die. So how does the body sense, communicate and respond? So have you understood the three types of muscles? Smooth muscles, then striated muscles and cardiac muscles. Remember this. So they have asked us, how does the body sense? So we have sensors, we have heat sensors. We can sense sound, we can see things. All these senses are there in our body. So how do we communicate? We communicate with the sounds, the language that we are using. How do we respond? If something is very hot, we touch it. Immediately there is a response. We take our hand away from it. So have you noticed how quickly you pull your hand away from something which is hot? Remember the lyrics of the song learnt years ago. So these actions are controlled by nervous system. So we have brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord, that is the nervous system. So brain acts as a control center, coordinating memory response across the body. It has both voluntary and involuntary centers which are independently acting. Now the aim of all these things is to live a good life, to make sure that the organism survives. So both voluntary and involuntary cannot function independently. They receive instructions from the nervous tissue. So voluntary and involuntary system, they are dependent on nervous tissue, remember. For example, during exercise, the brain signals the heart to beat faster to meet the body increased oxygen demand. Now when you exercise, you require more energy. More energy means faster respiration. Faster respiration means faster breathing. So that is the chain of events that may occur. Brain controls everything. Now cells of the nervous tissue are called as neurons. So special name is there, neuron. So they have special structure, they can receive, they can transmit, the messages. They can sense also, they have sensors. So they contain different parts. They contain nucleus. You can see the picture here. Dendrites, cell body, nucleus, axon and axon terminal. See the picture. From the picture it's very clear. So the three main parts are there. Cell body, which controls the nucleus and controls the cell activities. Dendrites, which receive signals from other neurons. And axon, which is a long fiber that carries message from cell and end at axon terminal. The axon terminal transmits the message to other cells. Okay, remember that is a very important. This diagram can come in exam. Structure of neuron. Now let's go to the musculoskeletal system. Musculoskeletal system. So it is made up of muscles, bones, joints, cartilage, tendons, ligaments. All these things together help us in movement of our body. So musculoskeletal system functions under the control of nervous system. Our brain controls it. Muscles are attached. They pull the bone. Okay, they produce movements. Then they are attached to bones by strong flexible bands called as tendons. So when muscles contract, tendons transmit this force to bone and there is a movement in the joint. So have you wondered how much of your body weight comes on bones? So adult human skeleton is made up of 12 to 15% of body weight, though it can vary with age, gender and body composition. So whatever is your age, accordingly your skeleton will be there. Are you doing exercise? That will also help you to have strong bones. Otherwise, with age, it can change. Body composition, what are you eating? Let's investigate what percentage of total body weight comes out to be bones and mass. So step on weighing machine, record your weight. Online references are there related to your percentage of muscles, related to your age, gender, body type, Indian body type. So normally adult males have 40 to 50% muscles and females have 30 to 40% muscles. So bone mass is only 12 to 15%. Multiply your total bone weight and find out the mass of your bones and muscles. You can do this activity. Here they have told us to observe elbow, the joints, different types of movements can be done by elbow, shoulder, knee, neck. Observe them. So can you completely rotate your elbow? Can you completely rotate your shoulder? Try to understand and fill this table. So if there is partial rotation, bending, turning side, up and down, all these movements are possible for different joints. So you have to fill this table, look at the different joints, try for yourself whether you can bend it, completely rotate it, and then you will understand that our body is made up of different types of joints. That's what we are going to study now. So look at this picture now. Fixed joint, then hinge joint, ball and socket joint, pivot joint. Observe this. So ball and socket joint, the first one, the shoulder joint allows free movement. You can move your shoulder completely. So that is the ball and socket joint. Okay. This is because the rounded top of the upper arm bone lifts into shallow hollow shoulder bone. Okay. So together the collarbone, the shoulder forms the shoulder girdle. Okay, it connects the arm to the skeleton. This joint allows forward, backward, sideways, circular movement. So you can move your shoulder like this in circles also, up, down, all types of movements are possible because of this ball and socket joint. It is present in the shoulder. Can you tell where else it is present? See, they have shown it in the figure. It is in your hip. Then we have hinge joint. See where hinge joints are shown. Okay, your elbow, your knee. So your elbow can bend straightened in one direction only, like a door hinge. So that's why it is called as a hinge joint. Observe it, you will understand. Then pivot joint. So try shaking your head to no in your place. Up, down, no. So place your hand at the back and you can feel the movement. So that is the pivot joint. Then we have fixed joints. Skull. It has joints, but they are fixed now. During the birth, they were moving a little bit, but after birth, they calcified. calcium deposition occurs and they become very strong, fixed joint. So they keep the brain safe. Okay, they cannot move. Here you can see the different dance poses. Observe the classical folk dances and which kind of joints are involved, you can write about it. Observe carefully. You know the different types of joint now. Observe this diagram. This diagram is very helpful. Skeletal system. The skeletal system consists of framework of bone that provides strength, protect delicate organs, vertebral column, skull and all. Backbone and vertebral column is there. Spine, it has spinal cord, which is very important for body coordination. So we have vertebrae to support. So it supports the body to help us sit straight. Between each vertebra there is cartilage disc which cushions it. We can bend, twist without injuring our internal spinal cord. So spinal cord is the part of a nervous system. To protect it, we have vertebral column. Brain is protected by skull. Spinal cord is protected by vertebral column. So can you feel the bones in your chest? Okay, there are ribs which are protecting the lungs and our heart. So rib cage protects our vital organs, that is lungs and heart. So how can such strong cage move? So ribs are attached to spine, breastbone, sternum, that is in front. They are joined by flexible cartilage. So little bit of movement is allowed. When we breathe in and breathe out, there is a little movement allowed. So that helps the lungs to expand and contract. Okay. Now here they have shown us some poses of yoga. You can observe it. Doing yoga is good for your health. You can observe these poses and do it. Surya Namaskar it is called. It's very famous and very useful. Protects our body, makes it flexible. Now from one cell to organism. So totipotency, this is the name. Remember the name of this phenomena, totipotency. So in 1958, F.C. Stewart was a scientist. He demonstrated that even one cell, from one cell, we can grow an entire organism. So he performed some experiments and he showed that the cell can be grown into a complete plant. That is shown in the test tubes. You can grow it in the soil later on. So he and his team performed experiments using phloem cells, grew them in simple sugars, medium, hormones, chemicals. You have to add some chemicals and hormones to the test tube, and then it grows. And you can have leaves, flowers, stem, okay, and you can grow it in the soil also later on in certain conditions. You can read this. So cross section of carrot root was taken, 2 milligrams of fragment. It was put into the nutrient medium and it started dividing, and you can have an adult plant with it. Regeneration occurs. So conditions they require is light and air. So here they have shown us, you can make a table, record your observations and conclusions you can write. So you can just read this, you will get it easily. Now bridging science and society. So in nature, plant pathologists have observed that disease plants called as crown gall disease. So this disease is like a tumor swelling, develops rapidly, uncontrolled cell division and causes problem. So disease is caused by a bacterium called as Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So instead of only trying to cure this disease, scientists have studied how bacterium transfer the genetic material. So this knowledge was used in plant tissue culture and genetic engineering today. And it is a tool that can be used to transfer genes, to improve the crops, to produce disease resistant varieties. Okay, so let us revise the chapter now. Chapter is at the end. So tissues are group of cells that work together, perform specific functions. Different types of tissues are there. They coordinate with one another. They perform life processes. Aim is to survive. Now plants tissues can be meristematic and permanent. Meristematic are dividing, fast dividing cells. Permanent tissue do not divide. So functionally plant tissues can be characterized as protecting tissue, supporting tissue and conducting tissue. Protecting, supporting, conducting. Permanent tissue can be simple or complex. So simple means what? Simple tissues are made up of only one type of cell, complex tissues are made up of more than one type of cell. For example, xylem and phloem. These are complex. Simple permanent tissues include parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and complex have xylem and phloem. You know that xylem carries water and phloem carries food. Animal tissues mainly are of four types: epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous. Epithelial tissues are nothing but the covering that is present over the body and protects the internal organs also. Connective tissue connects, supports the body, various organs of the body. Muscular tissue produces voluntary and involuntary movements, locomotion. And nervous tissue consists of neurons that controls the body, sends nerve signals, senses what is there in our surrounding. They convey the information to the brain and spinal cord. Skeletal system protects organs and provides support. In our body, movements occur by coordination of muscles and bones under the coordination of nervous system. Thank you very much. We'll continue with the next chapter next time. Thank you. If you have any question, please comment.